Good day, RGV. Today on Valley por Vida, we've got so much going on. We've got an exclusive sit-down with the country and Tejano singer Michael Salgado, and he's going to be telling us all about his new music and what we can look forward to from him. We've also got an inside look at a local boxer who's making big waves in her industry with a peek at where she works out for the big matches. We've got an all-new fun fact segment about boxing, plus an all-new student spotlight with an undergrad who wants to be an actor, and so much more. Now there's a lot to break down, so let's go ahead and get started. Valley por Vida starts right now. All right, thanks again so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Danielle Banda, and we are very pumped to kick off today's show with an exclusive sit-down with country artist Michael Salgado. Now, he's known for his original sound and for repping the Valley no matter what stage he takes on. And we're so happy to have had the chance to catch up with him.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Salgado. Glad to be talking to you guys. And of course, if you know who I am, I'm in the music business. Been in the music business about a little over 25 years now. And so you're doing a lot of different things nowadays and really enjoying it. Well, I remember the first time I received a Grammy. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. My brother, Ernie, went out there and accepted it for me. I had to stay back because my son Andy at the time was getting some dental work, and so I just wanted to be here, for him. So it was really exciting. I remember receiving the news. I think I was somewhere at a store or something, and then I heard about it, and I was jumping up and down. And so it was really an exciting experience to receive my first Grammy. That's quite an honor to be able to receive a Grammy. And then later, a few years later, we received the first Grammy. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was for album, Mejor Tejano album, And so then the second one was actually for Mejor Disco Norteño, right? So I was able to get in both categories, which is great. It's been quite a journey, and ever since Cruz de Madera came out back in, we're talking 95, people have always come up to me and told me things like, I want that song when I passed away, and we played that song for my grandmother, we played that song for my mother, and or you've been a great inspiration, and I want to learn how to play accordion, and I want to sing, because of you. And so all that's been really, really great, on a personal level, to be able to touch people like that. And, because when I was growing up, my idol was Don Ramon Ayala and Eliseo, those guys. And so, I really looked up to them. Of course, my father, because he's the one that got us started in the business, me and my brother Ernie. And so, he's, of course, my first inspiration. And then as far as artists, well, it was, Ramon Ayala. So, and he knows that, being from the Valley, he knows that. I was able to visit his home back in the 90s, and a very, very, just a great person, and I can understand why he's the legend that he is, and so, I want to be able to inspire somebody like that as well in the business, and so, I've seen a lot of young, musicians that are starting out. There's a guy out of Arizona that'll come out to the shows when we play there.
Be sure to follow Michael Salgado on Facebook to keep up with his latest music videos and performances. Again, it's important to eat healthy all year round so that you can be physically ready to take on the world. And that's exactly the mentality of one boxer from the Upper Valley. She's got that fight in her, always taking her all the way to the top. And she is so happy to positively represent the Valley and her hometown. So go ahead and check out today's Generation Inspiration segment.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisbeth, and welcome to my gym. Well, my dad, when he was younger, he used to box. He did about like 3 amateur fights, but he would train a lot. And well, I have an older brother, and he started him, but he didn't really like it. So like me as the second child, he put me in it, and I just continued. I train about 6 days a week, and on my rest day, I go for a run. I run about 3 miles every day. I train for 3 hours a day, 6 times a week, yes. I start stretching for a couple minutes, maybe about like 20 minutes to get a good stretch in. I jump rope 8 rounds. Then I do shadow boxing for 6 rounds. Then I start putting on my hand wraps to hit the bags and stuff. I do 6 rounds of heavy bag, 6 rounds of the double end bag, and 6 rounds of the speed bag. So when I know there's a fight coming up, I need to drop weight. So I get on a diet, because that's the most important thing for like a boxer, is to like lose weight. So when I try to lose weight, I try to like watch my calories, how much I eat per day. I keep like a limit, and from that I watch my carbs, my protein, and all that. I just got a sponsor, and she's been helping me with like the protein, my amino acids, and all that. It actually feels great. I've noticed a lot that there's like little girls or little boys, like they look up to me, and it makes me feel good, because I would want them to be like me, or like bigger than me. So I have a lot of upcoming fights later this month and next month and the year, but like so you guys can get updated on that. You can follow me on Facebook. You can add me on Facebook under Lisbeth Betis, and on Instagram la.morena.betis.
We wish Lisbeth the best of luck in her future fights, and we're so happy that she's on a mission to continue positively representing the Valley like that. You know, it'd be great if you could check her out on the ring sometime. It's just something else to be there in person watching her fight. But if you were out there in the stands cheering her on, or anyone, how much would you know about the match, about boxing in general? Well, we're going to go ahead and dive in deeper into the world of boxing and see just how much you know. All right, well, according to legendsboxing.com, the official name of boxing is actually pugilism. It refers to the practice of skill in fighting with your fists. Now, it's very interesting. So the next time that you see a boxing match on TV, you can say something like, "Oh, I love a good round of pugilism," and maybe show off some of your newfound vocabulary. The site also says that the most expensive fight that has ever taken place in history of the sport was between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao back in May of 2015. Now, you may recall that Floyd won by a unanimous decision, and his fee was actually $120 million. He earned $80 million off the fight, just that fight alone. Wow. Imagine being in that crowd. It's got to be a lot of energy from all around and super fun. But imagine if the fight didn't last that long, and before you knew it, the night was just completely over. I'm talking you get all prepared to go to the arena, but the game only lasts, let's say, a few minutes. Or how about this? A few seconds. Well, apparently it happened already, and it went down as the shortest boxing match in the history of boxing so far. It can now even be found in the Guinness Book of World Records since it was so short. It took fighters Michael Collins and Pat Brownson 4 seconds, and Collins ended up winning. But again, 4 seconds, that's just a really short match. And you've probably heard of a mouth guard for sports, right? Just sports in general. Well, according to the site, it turns out that it was actually invented by a dentist in London. His name was Jack Marles, and he created it specifically for boxers. That's right. Back in 1902, they were designed to be worn during training sessions to protect the fighters' teeth. And the first mouth guard was worn in the ring in 1913. They, of course, later became popular and then were considered a must-have for fighters, but it's pretty cool to know that it was just kind of a precautionary thing that someone came up with before it grew in fame. All right, well, it's now time to take a commercial break, and then we've got to look at your local weather updates. But be sure to stay tuned because Valley por Vida will be back. And we'll have an all-new destination education segment, a student from UTRGV with big dreams to be an actor. Plus, a chance at earning your degree for free of tuition charges. Well, instead you can volunteer to earn your education. That sounds pretty cool. We've got all of that and more after the break.